Imagine a power so terrifying, so limitless, even the gods whisper its name cautiously. A force not born of galaxies or machines, but the tortured soul of a man. Bruce Banner, the genius who feared his own reflection, carries a monster within forever. But what if the monster himself hides an evolution that dwarfs every cosmic being? This isn't Worldbreaker Hulk, not the Gladiator champion, not the Professor's calm compromise. This is something deeper, darker, forged in rage that even eternity struggles to comprehend. A hidden transformation known only through whispers in comics, veered by Celestials themselves. They call it the Breaker of Worlds, an echo of destruction across infinite time. A Hulk so unstoppable, his mere footsteps fracture dimensions and bend reality's fragile spine. Think about it. When Hulk gets angrier, his strength grows. But what's the ceiling? What if the ceiling never existed? What if anger itself birthed an infinite abyss? The Celestials, creators of worlds, architects of existence, have limits, yet Hulk's rage defies calculation. It's not raw strength anymore, it's the embodiment of annihilation, an unchained primal apocalypse. In this form, Banner doesn't whisper to calm the beast, he's utterly consumed entirely. The world doesn't face a man or a monster, it faces inevitability incarnate itself. Imagine gods trembling, worlds collapsing, entire realities breaking under fists burning with infinite fury. The Avengers once asked, "Who can stop Hulk?" This form answers with chilling silence. Even Thanos with the gauntlet, even Galactus in hunger, even Celestials bow cautiously. And here's the terrifying truth. This form isn't fantasy, it's canon hidden deep within lore. Tonight we descend into the shadows of Hulk's secret form, stronger than any Celestial. To understand this terrifying revelation, we must first revisit Hulk's fragile humanity, Bruce Banner himself. Banner never asked for glory or godhood, he asked for peace, but destiny denied him. Every heartbeat carries rage, every memory of pain fuels the furnace within his veins. Hulk isn't just anger, he's trauma sculpted into flesh, grief carved into unstoppable muscle. And when trauma breaks its chains, it doesn't whisper, it detonates like a star collapsing. That detonation gave birth to a form so violent, even gods hesitate to watch. A transformation known as the Breaker of Worlds, hinted in fragmented panels of forgotten comics. Unlike other incarnations, this Hulk doesn't shout or roar, he simply destroys without hesitation, without pause. His punches aren't just force, they're cosmic quakes, rewriting physics with each devastating impact. Imagine Earth's strongest heroes charging together, only to dissolve under one unstoppable tidal wave. In this form, Hulk isn't fighting battles anymore, he's ending stories with irreversible finality. Even the Celestials, beings older than galaxies, stagger at the thought of his existence. Their armor, their cosmic energy, their eternal brilliance, none withstand the abyss of infinite rage. Because this Hulk doesn't just battle flesh, he crushes concepts, he annihilates possibilities, he erases futures. It's not strength anymore, it's inevitability, a living apocalypse, walking with Banner's haunted shadow inside.
And the scariest truth? This form doesn't surface through choice. It erupts through complete surrender. When Banner's mind fractures beyond repair, when there's no turning back, the Breaker emerges. That's the paradox. Banner fears Hulk, yet Hulk fears the endless abyss within himself. What happens when rage outgrows its vessel? When fury itself becomes bigger than creation? The answer is chilling. Hulk becomes more than unstoppable. He becomes untouchable, even by gods. Picture the battlefield when Breaker of Worlds rises. The sky fractures, oceans tremble, continents scream. Heroes don't just prepare for battle, they pray, because no strategy can contain annihilation. Thor, wielder of storms, once admitted a chilling truth. Even Mjolnir quivers facing Hulk's fury. Doctor Strange, master of dimensions, whisper that even spells unravel beneath Hulk's catastrophic presence. This isn't brute strength, it's entropy weaponized, chaos forged into a body of living rage. And deep inside, Banner watches helplessly, his consciousness drowned beneath tides of endless destruction. That duality makes it tragic. Not just a monster unleashed, but a man forever lost. Every punch echoes with grief. Every roar carries centuries of pain bottled and released. It's why this form feels almost mythic, like Ragnarok written into Hulk's beating heart. But here's the haunting irony. The more he destroys, the more unstoppable he becomes eternally. The Celestials, mighty architects of existence, once tried to cage him with cosmic machinery. The result wasn't victory, it was horror, watching their prisons shatter like glass against storms. Hulk doesn't only break walls, he breaks definitions, shatters what limit even means in the universe. He doesn't just win battles, he rewrites them, bending destiny into rubble beneath his fists. The Breaker of Worlds doesn't ask for surrender, he simply erases the option completely. That's why even Galactus, the Devourer, hesitated, because his hunger cannot consume what has no end. Imagine being a god, infinite and eternal, yet fearing the fury of one man. Imagine being Banner, genius and broken soul, trapped within the monster who terrifies creation itself. The tragedy isn't Hulk's strength, it's that no one truly understands the cost of survival. Because when this form rises, survival isn't measured in victories, but in fleeting, borrowed time. When Hulk becomes the Breaker of Worlds, the battlefield no longer belongs to mortals. Entire dimensions twist, as if reality itself refuses to hold the weight of him. The sound of his heartbeat alone rattles galaxies, sending tremors through the cosmic tapestry. Even the Watchers, eternal observers, turn their eyes away, unable to witness such devastation, because this form isn't just violent, it's a collapse, a singularity birthed from human pain. That's the part we often forget. Behind the fists is a man who only suffered. Banner never dreamed of godhood. He begged for silence, yet received eternal war inside himself. Every scientist seeks answers, but Banner's greatest discovery was that rage cannot be contained. So the Breaker rises when control fails, when sorrow overpowers reason, when hope evaporates, and when he rises, not even eternity finds language strong enough to describe him.
Think of Celestials. Their hands sculpt galaxies, their eyes ignite suns, yet they falter before Hulk's abyss. Their armor forged from eternity cracks like porcelain when rage reaches infinite, unmeasurable density. Their cosmic fire sputters out like candlelight beneath winds of endless annihilation. This isn't hyperbole, it's horror written into Marvel's deepest lore, where even creation trembles. And that's where the tragedy cuts deepest. Hulk doesn't desire thrones or conquest, only release. He isn't hunting gods, but when they stand against him, their fall becomes inevitable. It's terrifying, isn't it? The strongest entities in Marvel, humbled by the rage of one soul. I sometimes wonder, was Hulk cursed or was he chosen, a weapon hidden by destiny? Because legends say, when creation needs balance, destruction awakens in forms no one expects. And maybe Hulk, in this secret form, is not villain or hero, but apocalypse. Imagine standing on a ruined world, silence everywhere except the echo of Hulk's breath. Not a hero's victory, not a villain's triumph, just the aftermath of unimaginable destruction. That's why the Breaker of Worlds feels more terrifying than any Celestial ever could. Because gods create, gods guide, but Hulk simply breaks, until nothing remains but fragments. And yet within that storm, there's still Banner, a man who never wanted this curse. A man who wakes each day fearing himself, fearing what his soul might unleash. That's the true tragedy. Hulk's power is infinite, but his peace remains eternally unreachable. The Avengers once said Hulk was their strongest weapon, but weapons aren't meant to think. The Breaker doesn't strategize, doesn't plan, he simply ends, with no mercy, no hesitation. Imagine the Celestials towering over galaxies, suddenly realizing even they cannot measure his wrath. That's the moment the hierarchy shatters, when the impossible finally bends before endless rage. And Marvel, in its genius, left us breadcrumbs,
tiny hints buried across forgotten storylines. Not front-page headlines, but whispers, because some truths are too terrifying to show fully. And maybe that's why fans still wonder, is this form destiny or nightmare unchained? Because if it ever surfaced again, the Marvel Universe itself might collapse under its weight. No cosmic council, no infinity stones, no godly intervention could rewrite what the Breaker writes. And so we're left with a haunting truth. Hulk's greatest battle was never against villains. It was always against himself, against the abyss waiting to swallow Banner's fragile humanity. That's why this hidden form remains unforgettable. The day Hulk became bigger than creation itself. And if you ever hear the words Breaker of Worlds, remember, it's not a story, it's a warning.